Red Bull's budget cap cover-up. Red Bull boss Christian Horner says team not aware of any F1 budget cap breach during 2021 season. Reports claim Red Bull are one of two teams who the FIA have found to have breached F1's 2021 budget cap. Red Bull boss Christian Horner insists the team are unaware of any breaches. Mercedes rival Toto Wolff also claimed that Red Bull had been under investigation for months, and it was an open secret in the paddock that one team was in massive breach of the budget cap. So what problems Red Bull is facing right now, and what this budget cap mess is all about? Let's dig deeper into it. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner says he is not aware of the team having breached Formula One's budget cap, amid reports they could be penalized for overspending during the 2021 campaign. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff later described Horner's comments as funny and said the alleged breaches are a heavyweight issue that will have implications on results from the 3 World Championships from 2021 through 2023. The sport introduced a budget cap last season, and reports claim Red Bull are one of two teams who the FIA will announce went over the £145 million, £114 million spending limit, with an official announcement expected on October 5th. Potential punishment for the teams found to have breached the regulations could range from financial penalties to points deduction, with the categorization of the infringement as minor or material the crucial factor. Speaking to Sky Sports F1 after opening practice at the Singapore GP on Friday, Horner responded to a topic that is threatening to overshadow the sport's first visit to the Marina Bay street circuit since 2019. "We are certainly not aware of any breaches," Horner said. "The accounts were all submitted way back in March, so it's been a long process with the FIA going through, and we are in the process as we speak." He also said they're rightly following that process, and I think mid-next week is when they declare their certificates. "Certainly our submission was below the cap, and it's down to the FIA to follow their process, which they're currently doing." Horner also described the regulations as immature and said that the interpretation and application of them would be subjective. The rules provide a range of sanctions that can be applied based on the amount by which teams have exceeded the cap. These include fines for minor offenses, while material offenses could result in a deduction of points from the drivers and team standings, suspension, and exclusion from the championship. The FIA released a statement before Horner spoke to Sky Sports F1 on Friday, insisting any breaches would be dealt with according to the regulations. The statement said the FIA is currently finalizing the assessment of the 2021 financial data submitted by all Formula One teams. Alleged breaches of the financial regulations, if any, will be dealt with according to the formal process set out in the regulations. Red Bull driver Max Verstappen piped Lewis Hamilton to the 2021 Drivers' Championship, while Mercedes narrowly won the Constructors' title. Verstappen is all but certain to add his second title this season, while Red Bull are in a similarly dominant position and look set to end Mercedes' 8-year run of Constructors' titles. Reacting to Horner's comments, Wolff told Sky Sports F1 that the breaches were a heavyweight issue and also urged FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem to take a robust stance on the matter. "It's funny that Christian Horner has said that, because it has been weeks and months that they've been being investigated," said Wolff, "so maybe he doesn't speak to his CFO, Chief Financial Officer." Wolff also said all of us have been investigated diligently, and as far as we understand, there is a team is in minor breach, which is more procedural, and another team that is fundamentally massively over and that is still being looked after. That is an open secret in the paddock. The FIA said in a statement on Friday night, the FIA is currently finalizing the assessment of the 2021 financial data submitted by all Formula One teams. Alleged breaches of the financial regulations, if any, will be dealt with according to the formal process set out in the regulations. It also stated that the FIA notes significant and unsubstantiated speculation and conjecture in relation to this matter, and reiterates that the assessment is ongoing and due process will be followed without consideration to any external discussion. Amid their domination of the 2022 season, there has been speculation in recent weeks that Red Bull have developed a new lightweight chassis that could further their advantage over their rivals. Speaking ahead of the Singapore Grand Prix, Verstappen said, perhaps in jest, that he had made a deal with his team that if he won the previous race in Monza, which he did, with their heavier version of the chassis, he would continue to use it at this race. Wolff referenced the rumored development as he continued his criticism, citing the knock-on effects overspending in 2021 may have had. He said the crucial part is that if you've been over in 2021, then you've been over in 2022, and that means you have an advantage into 2023. If it's true that they formulated a lightweight chassis this year, they may use it the next year, so it's really a cascade of events that can influential on all of the 3 championships. He also added, "This is heavyweight. It's massively heavyweight. We are using used parts. We are not running what we want to run. We are not developing what we could be developing. We have made more than 40 people redundant that are dearly missed in our organization, and it was a huge, mammoth operation to make the cap." Speaking separately to BBC Sport, Wolff added, "It is of huge importance for a demonstration that these regulations are policed, and I have no reason to believe otherwise. The FIA, particularly Mohammed Ben Sulayem, has shown a pretty robust stance on enforcing all kinds of regulations. So if we are talking now about something big, he will show the same integrity and leadership that he has done before." Later, in an interview with PA, Wolff, who spoke directly to Ben Sulayem on Friday night, added, "I don't know by how much Red Bull have overshot and where, and what that means as a consequence for last year's championship, this year's championship, and next year's championship. Could Lewis Hamilton be made F1 champion after Red Bull broke rules? Lewis Hamilton lost the championship to Max Verstappen at last season's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Red Bull could be penalized. After it emerged, they could have breached budget cap rules alongside Aston Martin. The news is set to infuriate Lewis Hamilton, who missed out on securing his 8th title by a whisker last season as he lost out to Max Verstappen. German newspaper Automotor and Sports claims Red Bull could have broken the cap by around $5 million, £4.5 million in 2021. Red Bull has claimed the reports are just speculation at this stage, with Aston Martin revealing they were in discussion with the FIA. The FIA said there will be no further comment from the governing body until a formal process has been concluded. It is claimed Mercedes and Ferrari feel the extra spend could have contributed up to half a second in track performance. Red Bull's rivals will likely be pushing for the maximum penalty to set a precedent and stop other teams from breaching the regulations, according to the same report. According to the existing rules, a material breach of more than 5% of the cap could result in tough sanctions. This includes the possibility of constructors' and drivers' points being docked and possibly teams being suspended from races. However, this is unlikely to result in Lewis Hamilton being promoted to world champion. Although sanctions do include loss of drivers' championship points, the FIA would probably be more likely to only dock the team's standings if the breach was deemed significant enough. It is not clear if the reduction of points would be backdated to last season or tagged on to this year. Formula One's financial regulations said, "In the event the cost cap adjudication panel determines that an F1 team has committed a material overspend breach, the cost cap adjudication panel shall impose a Constructors' Championship points deduction." Precedent also suggests the FIA are reluctant to tamper with individual drivers' efforts and revoke points. Back in 2007, McLaren was suspended from the Constructors' Championship and issued a $100 million after it emerged the team had spied information from Ferrari. So what do you think about all this? Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Well, that is it from this video. We sincerely hope that you liked seeing this video. Please subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more of the stuff that we produce.